Hey Push, it's Shannon.
And Coach Andy.
We want to talk about one-on-one sessions, working on skills, meaning movements that we generally see in our classes, and working with myself and Andy as opposed to just taking group classes, and the benefits of doing those, what we would call more skill sessions, as opposed to just kind of jumping in class and hoping for the best when it comes to certain skills and certain movements in here.
So if you're stuck on a certain movement, you're like, why can't I get it? Is this frustrating? You could come to us and we'll sharpen up those skills, and we'll even give you something to kind of work on after the session you have with us. So this way you can get better at something, again, you're working on or you're stuck on or you're like not figuring it out.
Yeah, and sometimes it's important to note that we just don't have the time to really dig into every single movement with every single athlete in class as much as we would love to do that. And so these shorter sessions, they could be just a 30-minute session. Generally, what we'll see as coaches is we'll work with someone for about 10 minutes on a specific skill or a movement, say kipping, where we've spent 10 minutes and something kind of clicked. And it was just that we had to adjust how we were approaching that movement with that athlete based on how they were perceiving cues or how they were comprehending certain things when we were trying to address motions, like maybe pressing and pulling on the bar. So it really just is some of the coolest, honestly, sessions that we do because we see the biggest return on investment when it comes to time, because we tend to see results right away as opposed to what we're used to in CrossFit, which is that delayed gratification, right? We come in every day, we put in the work, but then we get that short time alone with the coach where we get to really hone in on a specific skill, and there's that instant gratification that we don't normally get, and it just comes down to being able to spend that time with that athlete on that specific skill.
For example, say you've been stuck on getting a high knee raise, but you can't get a toes to bar. We'll give you that little bit of an edge to get into that movement. And even if you're not there, we'll give you some homework to work on it. And then we'll come back and see how you're fitting with the movement, whether in class or get another session with us. Guarantee you get a lot better. You get a lot closer for sure.
Right. And to build on kind of what Andy just said, let's say that you do come in for a single PT session. We're not just going to work on that thing for 30 minutes and then never work on it again, right? We want to give you guys tools to work on those things outside of PT sessions because we can only get in here so many times a week to work on specific skills. Time is a big concern for a lot of us. We've got a lot going on in our lives. So being able to give you guys tools, say an example of what we would consider a pulling piece. If we're trying to get our first pull-up, maybe we give you, hey, you're going to do 3 to 5 sets of these 4 movements that complement each other with a specific rest in here. And we can give you examples on those movements to sub in and out so that now we have the autonomy and we have the ability to sort of program for ourselves outside of class and be able to work on these goals as opposed to just doing that 30-minute session and then continuing to show up for class and we're still frustrated with the movement. We're not seeing progress, or maybe we're seeing progress, but it's really slow and it's slower than it needs to be.
Or also, if you happen to want to get better at a certain movement and you have a little extra time, we can also give you programming that you can do outside of class as well. Or if you happen to be away for 2 weeks but you don't want to miss your workouts, we can also make your workouts that you do online, depending on what equipment you have. We'll create programs for you.
Right, super common when it comes to the summer, right? We're coming up to those months where a lot of people are traveling, and I know myself, I know Andy, if we can get at least, a dumbbell or a kettlebell or even just an ab mat and get outside, we can really tailor those workouts to you where you're at. Maybe we go for a beach walk on our active recovery day and we make it something that's not just a break for the body, but also a break for the mind because we still want to enjoy those vacations. But we're implementing programming for wherever you're at, physically and also mentally.